Okay, today I and Amirul will explain about 10 steps from seed to cup. So for the ingredient, we use coffee seed and cherries bean. Okay, for the tools, we need to use hulling machinery, pulping machine, and roasting machine. So that's all from me. I will pass to Amirul Hakimi.
Step 1 is planting. Firstly, coffee seeds are planted in a large bed in a shaded nurseries. Second, water the seedlings frequently and shaded from a bright sunlight until they are healthy enough to be permanently planted. And for others information, planting often takes place during the wet season so that the soil remains moist while the roots become firmly established. We will go to the step 2, harvesting the cherries. It will take approximately 3 to 4 years to newly planted coffee trees to bear a fruit. First one, stripe pick. All of the cherries are stripped off the branch at one time, either by a machine or by a hand. Next, only choose the cherries which are at the peak of ripeness. And I will continue in step 3, processing the cherries. Once the coffee has been picked, processing must begin as quick as possible to prevent a fruit spoilage, depending on location and local resources. Coffee is processed in one of two ways. Firstly, the age-old method of processing coffee are the dry method. The freshly picked cherries are simply spread out on a huge surface to dry in the sun. Second one is the wet method. The palm are removed from the coffee cherry harvesting so the bean is dry with only the parchment skin left on. Then, freshly harvested cherries are passed through a pumping machine to separate the skin and the pulp from the bean. After that, the beans are separated by a wick as they are passed through water channels. They are passed through a series of rotating drums which are separated by them by size. The lighter bean float to the top and the heavier ribs are being sink to the bottom. Lastly, the beans are raised by going through additional water channels and are ready for a drying. I will go through to the step 4, drying the beans. If the beans have been processed by the wet method, the pulp and the fermented beans must now be dried to approximately 11% moisture to properly prepare them for storage. Next, by spreading them on a drying table or floor can be sun-dried. Furthermore, the dried beans are known as a parchment coffee and are warehoused in a jute or sisal bags until they are ready for export. And step 5 is milling the beans. Before being exported, parchment coffee are processed in the following manners. Firstly, use hulling machinery to remove the parchment layer from the wet processed coffee. Hulling dry process coffee refers to removing the entire dry husk. Secondly, after hulling is removed by a machine, polishing is an optional process where any silver skin that remains on the beans. Thirdly, Grading and sorting is done by a size and weight, and beans are also reviewed for a color, flaws, or other imperfection. Finally, defective beans are removed either by hand or by a machinery. Beans are unsatisfactory due to deficiencies, unacceptable size or color, over-fermented beans, insect damage are removed. This process is done both by a machine, by hand, ensuring that only the finest quality coffee beans are exported.
For step 6, exporting the beans. The mild beans, now referred to as a green coffee, are loaded onto ship, either jute or secret bags, loaded into ship container or but shipped inside plastic lined container. Step 7 is testing the coffee. First, the tester, usually called the cupper, evaluate the beans for their overall visual quality. Secondly, the beans are then roasted in a small laboratory roaster. Immediately ground and infuse the boiling water with carefully controlled temperature. The cupper noses the brew to experience its aroma, an essential step in judging the coffee quality. Next, after letting the coffee rest for several minutes, the cupper breaks crust by pushing aside the ground at the top of the cup. Again, the coffee is nosed before the tasting begins. Lastly, the cupper slurps a spoonful to taste the coffee with a quick inhalation. The objective is to spray the coffee evenly over the cupper taste buds and then wait it on the tongue before spilling it out. Step 8 is roasting the coffee. Roasting the strong green coffee into aromatic brown bean that we purchase in our favorite store or cafe. Number 2, most roasting machines maintain temperature of about 550 degrees Fahrenheit. When they reach an instant temperature about 400 degrees Fahrenheit, they begin to turn brown. After roasting, the beans are immediately cooled either by air or water. Step 9 is grinding coffee. Finer the grind, the more quickly the coffee should be prepared. Number 2, coffee ground for an espresso machine is much finer than coffee brewed in a drip style. For the last step is brewing coffee. To keep freshness of the bean, you need to brew as soon as possible to keep the taste freshness.